Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us.
The groundwork for appeals for the convicted killer has started.
They say their client's rights were violated. Channel 8 Eyewitness News reporter Joe Harris talked on the phone with one of Trail's attorneys today and has more on our top story. Joe?
Rod Megan, his attorney, says this doesn't mean they're going to go through with the whole trial again. They're just getting ready for the appeals process.
Guilty of murder in the first degree.
Last week, Aubrey Trail was convicted in the first-degree murder of Lincoln woman Sydney Loof in 2017. And on Wednesday, his defense team filed a motion for a new trial. We talked to defense attorney Joe Murray, and he tells us this doesn't mean Trail is going to get a new trial. They're simply laying the groundwork for future appeals.
The whole purpose of this motion is just to preserve our rights for appeal and to be able to bring up various issues on appeal.
One of those issues is the judge not granting a mistrial after Trail sliced his own throat in the courtroom.
Bailey is innocent and I curse you all.
Murray says the general rule is a defendant cannot do anything that would result in a mistrial, but that this incident is unique.
We found cases in other jurisdictions which say that, if the action taken is basically beyond the pale, something that no one had ever expected and no one had ever contemplated, then there is authority for granting a mistrial.
Murray says he doesn't know of any circumstances similar to Trail's throat cutting, so they should have been granted a mistrial. He says another issue is Sydney Loof's mother, Susan, wasn't sequestered despite being a witness.
All the witnesses were sequestered and were required to remain outside the courtroom until the conclusion of the trial or until they were released, and Mrs. Loof was not released but was allowed to remain in the courtroom.
He says they're also investigating jury misconduct, but didn't want to go into specifics. The court documents listing the reasons for an appeal on KLKNTV.com. Now, before any appeals can be heard by a three-judge panel, or before any appeals can be heard, a three-judge panel must first determine whether Trail qualifies for the death penalty, and there's no word yet on when that will be.
Joe Harris with our top story tonight. Thank you, Joe.